In the last 2 years, we have seen an increased interest in nursing documentation using voice recognition. The idea basically is that there's a normal conversation between a nurse and a patient, and the AI is listening and puts the correct information into the correct places in the IT system. So there are currently many vendors on the market which offer such kind of solution. Some of them provide APIs, some other have complete applications. All of them are integrating in hospital information systems. Our company, NursIT, is offering a nursing documentation software strictly based on FHIR. And naturally, we are interested in incorporating such a technology into our software. But in our case, the solution must be able to fill out a FHIR questionnaire with more than 160 items. So these are very long and very structured FHIR questionnaires which need to be filled out. And it's, considering all these vendors on the market, it's currently not really clear which one has the best solution for that. So today we are providing, or we are showing here, a framework which allows to quantitatively measure the performance of large language models to fulfill this specific task. And as a vendor, when you are considering incorporating such an AI solution, there are typically 4 questions which are popping up. The first question is, so obviously we expect that commercial vendors are providing the best solution and perform best, actually. But if you enter the task in something like an open model, or not an open model, but an general purpose model like ChatGPT, then it provides very often sensible results. So the first question is obviously, how much better are the commercial vendors? And is it worthwhile to invest in that? The second one is, obviously, a US-based solution is not a solution for the German market, for example, because, the GDPR things and so on. So it would be nice to be able to use an open source model which can be installed on a cloud provider here in Germany. And many hospitals, they actually want on-premise solutions. So small AI models can be installed also locally on a local server. So how do they perform in comparison to bigger models which needs to be installed on a cloud service? And thirdly, or fourthly, we are interested in the stability. So do they produce consistent results, or are these results always quite different? So what is our approach of our investigation? So we are taking patient interviews, a transcript of patient interviews, and we pipe this into a large language model. And on the other hand, we take our FHIR questionnaire, so this is in this case an anamnesis form, and put this also into the large language model. We design a proper prompt, and we expect the large language model to fill out the anamnesis form. That means, in our case, to produce a FHIR questionnaire response resource. So what is the method we are applying here for the investigation? So first of all, we are simulating interviews using professional nurses, and transcript this interview. And you see on the right-hand side an example transcript. Note that these are normal conversations, so we are going not line by line during the questionnaire. We have a normal conversation with the patient, and we expect the large language model to pick out the correct information and put this into the corresponding form. So how do we evaluate the whole thing? And we are using for that such kind of table. And each line in this table represents one FHIR questionnaire, one question in the questionnaire. And the first 3 columns represent the actual question with the answer options. And then the yellow column is a ground truth. This is filled out by an expert manually, carefully by looking at the transcript. And then we compare the ground truth with automatic response from the AI. And then we have this evaluation scheme here on the right-hand side. So either these both answers match, then it's correct, or they do not match, then it's false. Then we have also something like a false hallucination. So something didn't happen in the interview, but it was filled out from the AI. Then we have something like correct missing. So something was which didn't appear in the interview, but the AI also didn't fill it out, so this is correct. But we have also the opposite, the missing. Yeah.
As my partner told you about all the input structure, now I'm going to talk about the models which we evaluated. So basically, we evaluated a mix of both commercial and as well as open source models. As you can see, we evaluated in commercial lists GPT-4 variants, and in open source models, we evaluated Llama and Mistral AI. For our approaches, we experimented with different kind of prompting strategies, and as well as we evaluated it to see if they can improve the results. So basically, we investigated 4 different approaches, and in all those approaches, we enhanced our prompting and all the information which we give to the large language models. This is the most important part, because how the information is provided to the large language model will go as the results in the output. So you can see we also evaluated stability. So for the stability part, we gave a large language model same prompt 100 times with the same request, and see which large language model was the most consistent one. So now let's talk about the results. So in results, you can see this is our whole questionnaire or answer, which is the whole script for each model and each interview. And these are the different and multiple models which we evaluated, and these are the different scripts. Now let's talk about the results. So basically, which you can see the highlighted part in yellow are all the open source models. And in the white part are the dedicated AI vendors, and as well as GPT-4 variants. So surprisingly, we see the AI vendors did not perform as much as better compared to the large language models, which are open source, and also ChatGPT. The smaller models you can see have the least accuracy in the end than the larger models. With our approaches, we tried to get the accuracy more and more correctly. And as well as you can see, we decrease the part where you can see the correct rate and missing rate. And these all can happen by our prompting strategies and all our different approaches. And for the stability part, you can see the smaller models can be very less accurate and very less stable as for the larger models.
So we have presented a framework to evaluate quantitatively large language models, and we believe that this framework can be transferred to other use cases as well. So what are our conclusions of our work? First of all, surprisingly, in our investigation, it is not necessarily clear that commercial vendors are actually better than general purpose models. Obviously, they offer advantages in support and integration and probably also domain specification, but they do not necessarily perform better. Open source models, they are a realistic alternative in comparison to proprietary models. And they have obviously advantages that they can be installed on a German cloud center. Also on-premise solutions, so smaller models, we were able to perform or improve the performance of these models by improving the prompt strategy. And he has shown basically that we were actually increase the correct, but also the missing rate. So in general, we believe that the main challenge nowadays is in the workflow integration of such a technology and not the technology anymore. Thank you very much.